The next product is their Añejo, and it has this really noticeable, darker bottle. So here's the label, and this is the same kind of bottle shape as that older Reposado I had. So part of me wonders, because you can see here, part of me wonders if this is an older Añejo. I'll have to compare the NOM numbers. I thought I had a new bottle of, all the Siempres, but this might be an older bottle. So I'm going to check the NOM number here in a second, but I'm going to talk through the production details of their, their current Añejo. Again, I'm going to be referencing the Siempre write-up on my website. So the Añejo label is a perfect bridge product for whiskey lovers. It is double distilled in stainless steel with copper parts at the Casa Maestre Destiladora del Valle de Tequila, which is NOM 1438. There's that NOM 1438 that you saw on the older Reposado. In the town of Tequila, Jalisco, from 100% blue river agave sourced from 50% Los Altos and 50% El Valle. The agave is cooked in stone and brick ovens, crushed using a roller mill, and open air fermented using an agave yeast strain. The water source used comes from a volcanic spring. Next, the tequila is aged up to 36 months in American oak bourbon barrels. The final product is bottled at 80 proof or 40% ABV and is verified additive free by Tequila Matchmaker. Let's look at this. So my bottle is NOM 1438, which is that Casa Maestre. The bottle I have here, even though it's perhaps the older packaging, is the current distillery, so the relevant juice that we're going to be talking about. And then the older Reposado, which I have here, is also NOM 1438. So clearly at some point, the brand transitioned their contract for the Reposado from NOM 1438 to NOM 1414. That's going from Feliciano Vivianico de Sociedades, which is the 1414 in Arandas. And they moved it to Casa Maestre, which is the Destiladora del Valle de Tequila, which is NOM 1438 in the town of Tequila. And obviously both of those are in Jalisco. Let's see what Siempre has to say about this product. Experience the complexity of our Añejo Tequila. Siempre rested in American oak ex-bourbon barrels for 12 to 36 months. This exquisite blend, diluted to 80 proof with volcanic spring water, offers a symphony of flavors. Indulge in alluring notes of toffee, salted caramel, chocolate, vanilla, and peppercorns. The warm, long-lasting finish is a testament to its quality. Best enjoyed in a Glencairn glass paired with dark chocolate and mixed nuts. And the official tasting notes from the brand are in alluring notes of toffee, salted caramel and chocolate, vanilla and peppercorns, long-lasting, warm flavor. All right. So I don't often drink Añejo tequilas. I got nothing against kind of like super barrel forward tequilas, but I usually only have Añejo tequilas in kind of classic whiskey forward cocktails. I love an Añejo old fashioned, an Añejo Manhattan. I love kind of riffing on classic bourbon or American whiskey cocktails with dry rum, aged tequila. Let's see, look at this. Okay, so the color on this is obviously darker than the Reposado, but I would say is still pretty light for an Añejo. Especially, I feel like so many of the big commercial brands, that are catering to the American palate, they're barrel bombs. They're very, very barrel forward. And that's what people want. When they drink Añejo, they want agave flavored bourbon. And I'm not criticizing that because they can be delicious, and I love bourbon, and I love tequila. But certain brands kind of make a stand saying that, they'll make a Reposado, they'll make an Añejo, but they still don't want to lose that kind of backbone of agave flavor. So let's give this a smell. Oh, very barrel forward. Yeah, very barrel forward. It's not overpowering, but definitely the primary aroma is these barrel flavors. The vanilla, even those kind of like, not savory, but toffee, salted caramel, chocolate. I could see that. Not quite getting that peppercorn spice, but that's probably going to be on the palate. And we'll talk about finish here in a minute. So first sip. Now that, a lot more bold, much more bold on the palate. You know, it's just this kind of big wave of barrel flavors. Now, I would say the barrel flavors kind of hits your palate in this wave, and then when it finishes, it immediately kind of transitions into those kind of secondary agave flavors. So those agave flavors are there, but they're kind of hidden by that initial surge of barrel flavors. Very enjoyable. I mean, this is really nice. It coats the palate, but it's not heavy. It doesn't kind of cling to it. Finishes pretty clean. You know, I think the finish is a little short on this. I'm not quite getting that long-lasting warm finish, but maybe I'll get it in that second sip. But it's super tasty. Still get some agave flavors. Super barrel forward, but not quite as big and bold as, you know, some other brands that I've had. But let me revisit it. See, even on that second sip, it almost like doubles down on the barrel flavors. I'm still waiting for it to kind of transition to agave flavors. God, the agave flavors even feel more subtle on that second sip than they did on the first sip, and the barrel flavors feel even more pronounced. So again, yeah, and the finish is a little longer on that second sip. Definitely got a nice warmingness to it. Definitely a pleasant finish. To me, this is still kind of a medium finish, but anyway, this product is very enjoyable to drink, and I think most people that like tequila but want a little more barrel influence, this is your product. You know, it's not quite as, you know, you still, I think, know this is a tequila, which I think is the hallmark of a good añejo. So I think for anyone that, you know, perhaps like me, you drink a lot of bourbon, you also like tequila, you maybe want a good añejo tequila for some classic whiskey cocktails or whiskey forward cocktails, but you want to switch it up. You want to use an añejo tequila for an old-fashioned or a Manhattan, but you don't want it to taste like agave flavored bourbon. You still want to know it's a tequila. I think this is the product for you. Again, a lot more barrel forward than that reposado. You're transitioning from the vats with the pipones to barrels, and it's obviously going to have much more influence on that color and the flavor profile. But you know, there's still some agave in there. It's pretty subtle. I don't want to say it's hidden, but it's pretty subtle. Very barrel forward, but not quite a barrel bomb. So this is very enjoyable, very drinkable. Let's talk about pricing. All right, so this product retails in my home market of Oklahoma somewhere between $50 and $54. So you're at that $50 price point for an añejo tequila. There's a lot of añejo tequilas around this price point. Do I think it's worth it? I still think this is worth it, but I'm going to caveat it with saying you need to know what you want. You know, I think this product is worth the money for someone that enjoys bourbon, but also enjoys tequila. And you want tequila flavor with a pronounced barrel influence that you are perhaps used to from bourbon, but you don't want to lose all the agave flavor from, you know, drinking tequila. And so for me, if you want kind of a nice balance, so again, it's the scale, right? You know, reposado was kind of right in the middle, barrel flavors and agave flavors. You're obviously tipping the scale much more on the barrel flavor side. With this añejo, there's still some agave in there. So again, it's not a barrel bomb, but it's very pronounced barrel flavors. So to me, this is definitely worth it for someone that likes tequila, but is currently drinking bourbon, or probably drinks mostly bourbon. And again, if you want to make bourbon cocktails, but with tequila, this is a perfect product for you. If you only drink bourbon and you don't drink tequila, you know, this could be a bridge product, you know, kind of reverse engineering it. But I think this is much more suited to someone that is already drinking both, likes agave flavors, but maybe prefers barrel flavors from bourbon or stereotypical American whiskey flavors. I think this is the perfect product for you. So I think if you paid between $50 and $54 for this particular product and you have the right expectations about what you're looking for, I definitely think this product is worth the money. All right, that's it. So thank you for watching part one. Part two, I'm going to talk about the Supremo. I'm going to talk about the Rebel Cast Reposado, and I'm going to talk about the Exclusivo Vivo. So those are the next three Siempre products that I'm going to chase through in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. If you are enjoying this content but don't care about the video component of these tastings, then I highly recommend you check out my podcast. It's just the audio component for these tastings and brand educations. You can find it on Spotify. You can find it on Apple Podcasts. You can find it any platform that you listen to your podcast. If you're watching this on YouTube, leave me a comment. You know, let me know if you have any feedback for the channel. any recommendations of products or categories that you want to see on this channel. If you want to have a more in-depth conversation, or if you have a more detailed question, please shoot me an email. I personally read all the emails that I receive, and I do my best to respond to each and every one of them. So I'll leave my email down below in the description. Please shoot me an email if you have a more kind of detailed question that you want to talk through. If you are a spirit supplier and you're interested in seeing one of your products featured on my channel, please shoot me an email as well. I'd love to have that conversation. Finally, if you'd like to be notified whenever I have new content on my website or this YouTube channel, please consider subscribing to my email newsletter. I'll leave a link below in the description. And if you'd like to support this channel further, please consider becoming a Patreon member or gift me a cocktail through the link below in the description. I very much appreciate your support. It is this community support that is what makes this channel possible. So thank you so much again for watching. I hope you learned something. And as always, please drink responsibly.